Hi Scott, I hear you want to know how to colour grade. So if you're not Scott, you can scroll away. Stuck on that YouTube algorithm, I'm not being paid for this anyway. You wanted a quick rundown of how I make my LUTs? Well, this is it. I'm going to link in the description box down below all the really useful YouTubers that like talk about this in great detail if you want to know more scientific-y kind of technological ways of saying this, but we're going to do the Poundland version. We're going to be using Photoshop, which you should have as part of your degree. It should be on the library computers. I'm sure you have it installed already. Even the cracked version will do fine. So we're going to use Filmora because I can only afford Lightroom and Photoshop. I am not that bougie. So I have Filmora open. That is the video editing software I use. You'll probably have Adobe Premiere, and basically what I'm going to do is use a snipping tool, create a new snip, go over the scene that I want to change. So I want to color grade this scene of this sports tool where we are doing karate. This is for my karate promo video, and I haven't color graded anything, which is why it looks really dull. I really want the colors to really stand out, to really, I know those are black belts, but really pop out and just lighten it up. It looks really grey and dingy and dark. And although that can add some atmosphere and like cinematicness to your video documentaries, it doesn't really pop on TV screens, and I just want it to really stand out. And I'm going to save it as sports pool karate. I'm just going to, this is just easier, where did it go? There. Open with Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so we have our image. It's not the greatest quality because it is just a screenshot pretty much. We don't need it to be anything else really. And I'm going to change the layer. I'm going to make it background. So we go to layer, new, background from layer, and it just turns it into a background. And from that, we need to start changing this color. So we're going to go onto this little circle that is half colored in, and we're going to click all the things that would alter the aura of this video. So the brightness, we're going to open the levels, the curves, exposure, vibrance. We want these belts to pop, hue and saturation, and the color balance. And you can do this auto stuff. It normally does auto, like bring up. See, that's giving me some pretty good things already. Very quick, easy to do, auto it. It's going nice. That's actually pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't do it very well. Make sure when you are adjusting these layers that you are clicking on the half shaded circle, because otherwise it won't change it properly. You can bring the vibrance up a little bit. Get those colors really popping. Saturation. There's no auto for absolutely everything. And you can add like a shade, a fade. So like if this is a throwback or a memory, a nice memory, you can really soften it up. Whoop. And then this is how you can change the real vibe of everything. Make it cold, make it warm, party city. Because I have made that fade, I do want to increase the contrast a bit. I really do want to bring this vibrance out. The saturation, everything that looks like it was filmed in the 80s. Don't really want that too much, but the vibrance just makes the colors pop a bit. So let's see what it's done with the curves. Really make things darker and just like play around, just alter it. I quite like it when it's really bright like that. You don't want to go too high because then it bleaches out everything, overexposes the whites, and you can't see that detail. You can do things individually to get even more of a tone. So for this is quite yellow, so I might do blue. See if I can alter that a little bit because it's quite yellow sitting there like that. That will turn it a bit more green. So I just want to like bring it up a little bit. The ceiling was white. This is like a dirty cream color, but in real life it's actually a lot brighter. It's just the color, it wasn't picked up properly by the camera, which is why we have to do these things. Makes the darks lighter, so it brings up the shadows a little bit. That's really brought out the color. Okay, so we have all of these adjustments now. And now we want to make it into a LUT that can be applied to a video. I'm going to go File, Export, Color Lookup Tables, and make sure Cube is selective. And click OK. And then wherever you want to save your LUTs, I have a folder called Creating LUTs. So I have Sports Hall Karate LUTs, that's just what it's called. You can change the name of it, obviously. Save it. And then see how it is before on Filmora, we double click the video. You would have to have this selected probably in Adobe Premiere as well. And then I don't know how you add LUTs to your Adobe stuff, but it's probably something very similar. And then we're going to load a 3D LUT, go to the folder that we had our LUT in, Sports Hall Karate, open that, and then we can select that, and boom, we have really changed the feel of this. It's just so much brighter than before. Dingy, sports hall, kind of amateurish, that's what I was, still am, possibly, just a better amateur, I guess. And then boom, you can really see the colours popping, and that's something on sports clips, teams playing on the fields or anything, that is really something that you do want to see. Different colours of the sports teams. It's not going to apply to all of your footage, although it's done it pretty well, because this was shot outside. This was super dark before. Let's see. So this, I am interviewing vice captain there, and I click none to apply. It is darker. The sports hall LUT isn't necessarily the one that I would use for this video. As you can see, it's the sky's completely gone. Her skin looks really blue. The temperature needs adjusting. I can do that here and adjust the temperature slightly. It's all kind of washed out, the sky. I wonder if we can change that with the highlights. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. It's a lot better than it was before, and it's some old footage. But remember to just apply it to that scene, to that edit, because when we go back, yeah, we brought it down for everything else. How it was before with no LUT, it's really dark, dingy, and this is the one that I had made for a captain, and it's slightly on the purple side, so we're going to add some green into there, just to try and make it as neutral as possible. But it's really hard, so I've really taken the tone out of these walls. They're just looking really grimy and dingy, and I swear the paint is an off-white cream colour, but in the footage it just looks smelly. It looks like it was once painted white and then a load of people started smoking. You can create so many different styles just using this. If you want something that's really gritty, like maybe a boxing documentary about a boxer who's had a rough life, you might as well have something like this. It's cold, it's harsh. So I made one for our Plant Olympics. See what the sports hall one does to it. See, that's way too bright. So I did this one because it's kind of nostalgic, but it is kind of dark. It's pretty easy if you want to like color match things. So this is some footage, football from a documentary or commercial, and you want to match that. You take your snipping tool, something you want to change, like Scott in the garden. And if I wanted to have these kind of colors, that is adjustments. We've got match color. So we can match that color like that. But doing it this way, you don't have these layers, any of these layers. So when you do go to export the color lookup tables, it won't apply it. It will just think there's nothing there because there are no adjustment layers for it to adjust. That's the best way, is to just play around, see what works. I also forgot to mention that your software might actually have a color matching tool where you can import a video clip that you found online that you really like the color of, and you import your own clips, and then it should merge the color with one of your clips. Color match, there it is. So it's found, oh, I don't think it even needed those highlights. So it's found what I want it to match, which is the color graded beginning of this video. So it seems to have done an okay job of that. It's not quite right. It's not quite as good. It's definitely not the best. Color matching, you're going to have to do a little few edits to get it quite right. Anyway, so that is the Poundland version. I hope this helps you, and good luck with your projects.